This is my bedroom, or at least what's left of it. It's messy, uninspiring, and honestly doesn't work for me anymore. I have this habit of keeping boxes for everything I buy, phones, tech, accessories, you name it. And after a while, all of it just builds up and makes the whole room feel cluttered. And don't even get me started on the walls. I've drilled so many holes into it over the years, it's starting to look like Swiss cheese. But here's the thing, the room wasn't always like this. Back in 2012, I actually had a custom fitted room, custom wardrobes, desk, everything built to fit perfectly. And for a while, it was great. But as I grew older, the desk was way too low, there was practically no footroom, so I ripped it away from the wall and made my own desk, complete with crappy falling apart office chair. Look, I've always wanted my own YouTube space, somewhere where I can record videos but also sleep as well. And this room was just not doing it for me. I had no nice background, just the white wardrobes, the lighting was terrible in the room, and I just felt really uninspired with the layout. So in this video, I'm going to completely transform my room from a messy, outdated bedroom into my dream bedroom and YouTube studio combined. But before we can build this perfect room, we've got to clear out the old one first. Clearing out the room really did show me how much space I actually had in this room. Before, it was just filled with clutter and units and stuff everywhere, but the first thing I needed to do was get rid of this on the wall, which unfortunately ripped off the wallpaper. Cheers, wall panels. But I also used this opportunity to fill in the holes in the wall and finally get them all sorted out, so we had a nice smooth surface to paint on. You know what they say, prepare to fail, fail to prepare, something like that. But yeah, now it was time to paint the wall. I decided to go with this silver colour, which actually went on quite dark. It was kind of like a dark grey colour. Luckily, it dried a kind of nice whitey silver colour, which was good. But same can't be said about the second colour I decided to use, which was navy blue. Now the navy blue looked almost like an ocean blue as it was going onto the wall. Fair enough, I thought maybe it just needs 2 coats. So I pushed on and did the rest of the wall, and I also did the long wall in this colour as well. However, the brush marks were really starting to show. It really wasn't the blue that was on the can, but I still pushed through. I trusted the process and see what would come out of it. So, after a second coat and a few hours, this is what it looked like. It was not looking good whatsoever. I didn't want to do a third coat, but I also didn't believe that this was the right paint. I decided to buy another navy blue paint can, and this went on no problem. The walls were actually starting to look good. We now had a nice, clean, consistent navy blue in both of the corners. So now it was time to move back all my furniture into the room and get on with the setup. Except not quite. You see, while I was decorating the room, I really started to think of different ways that I could arrange my room. I could put everything back to the way it was and have the same problems I had before, the same white wardrobe background, the same layout, and it wouldn't really feel like much of an upgrade. This is where I started planning out what my room could actually look like. I went to my old friend Furnish Master. If you don't know what Furnish Master is, it's a game that you can actually buy on Steam, but I have actually been using it to plan my rooms. You simply just add in the measurements of the room and all your furniture, and you can click and drag around as you please, deciding what layout to have your room. So after playing around with Furnish Master, I came up with this design. This design would have worked brilliantly because on the one hand, half of the room is my bedroom, but the other half of my room has my desk, a nice blank background, and even some space beside me for either a second or third desk. Yes, it was going to be a bit tighter and a little bit harder to get in and out of the room, but I thought this would be the perfect way I could separate work and sleep. So moving day came in, I moved my bed, my bedside table and my old desk back to where I was going to have it. But just look at this mess of cables under my desk. Also, speaking of my desk, it's actually starting to peel. Luckily, FlexiSpot have sent over their E7 Pro standing desk. It was actually quite easy to assemble. It comes in 2 boxes, everything's color coded, and doesn't require too many screws to put together. Just don't do what I did and assemble the frame, put the legs and the feet on, and then realise you've got to screw it to the actual worktop itself. Once you put the frame on, it's just a simple case of just putting the legs on, and then moving it into place. Having a standing desk is a massive quality of life upgrade. As you can see here, it can go up and down. You can set presets for standing and sitting, and you can even charge your phone from it too. I went for the black walnut desktop and I think it looks really nice. I know everyone does this, but you can sit on it and it will take your weight. They've even included a cable tray for me to sort out my mess of cables and a drawer as well. And they even sent over their C7 Air Pro chair, which is probably one of the best chairs I've used. It was quite easy to put together and set up, but just look at it. It's super comfortable to sit in, it's got really nice lumbar support, and one of the most underrated features is the footrest. I can literally lie down at my desk and just relax. It's got really adjustable arms too, they go 360 degrees around. You can adjust them pretty much exactly how you want. It's a very adjustable chair overall. So thank you to FlexiSpot for sending all of these things over and sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. I also got my old unit back here as well, which will actually make quite a nice background for my videos. So after a few days of using my room in this new layout, I started appearing on camera and working out what shot I wanted to have. However, the wall behind me was really blank, really boring, and I felt like it needed something. And so that's when I went ahead and got some wooden slat panels, because I mean, why not? Everyone has them in their desk setups now, but they do make a really nice background. People light them up, LED strips between them, but I just wanted to have them on this blank wall because they just look so good. Once the wooden slat panels were in place, I also got some other decorations, fake plants, and even this Govee floor light as well, which really helped to light up the slat panels. And the background was actually starting to look really good. There was just one more thing that I wanted to add on the left hand side. The wall was looking really blank, and I really feel like it could have been filled with something. I've always wanted one of those workbenches. You see them in lots of YouTube videos. They're called the Husky drawers. Now you can't actually get them in the UK, but they just look brilliant. Not only are they practical, you can store stuff in there, but it really gives that sort of industrial vibe that looks really good in YouTube videos. But unfortunately, I had very limited space in this corner. So I decided to research into another workbench I could get, and that's when I came across the IKEA B-Roar, B-R-O-R. This fit perfectly in the corner, has that industrial look I was after. It comes with this oak wood top which looks really nice and contrasts quite well with the walnut of my slat panels and my desk. I also paired this with an IKEA pegboard which went on the wall, and this is even better. Not only can you store stuff there, but it also looks really practical as well. I've stored a number of things on this pegboard, such as tools, a keyboard, my light, and even a fake plant as well, and it's actually looking really nice, as well as being very practical too. With everything assembled, this is now what I look like on camera. I'm really happy with this shot. The background, the lights, the camera angle, it just looks brilliant. I'm really happy with this, and also I've got an additional workbench that I can use for B-roll shots, and I even got a separate desk which is up against my headboard, so I pretty much have 3 desks in quite a small space. Now all that was left to do was set up my desk. I decided to go for a 2-monitor setup, the same as what I had before. However, as you can see with my original setup, my second monitor is significantly smaller than my main one. So I went ahead and got a proper sized one from ViewSonic. And thanks to the FlexiSpot cable channels, I was able to route all of my cables through this. They're actually really deep as well, so they were able to hold my power strips even with 8 plugs on them. The thing with standing desks is cable management is key. So you need to make sure that everything's neat, but still also has enough slack. Now it was just time for some small finishing touches before the final reveal. Before, my room was an uninspiring mess of boxes. My desk and chair were falling apart and I had nowhere to record my videos. Until now. And here it is, my dream desk setup and YouTube studio. I'm really happy with how this turned out. It honestly doesn't feel like my bedroom anymore. It's been completely reworked and transformed into an amazing space. I'm currently running the setup off my MacBook. Now don't be put off by the fact I'm running this off a Mac, because I've also got my gaming PC under the desk, which I can switch all my peripherals and monitors to with just a push of a button. I've also got my Mac Mini. This setup can literally do it all. And don't forget, this is also my bedroom as well. We've got my additional desk and my beautiful YouTube background with wooden slat panels and decoration. Not forgetting my workbench, which is storing all of my tech, camera gear, and of course, some of my old boxes. I have kept some of my premium Apple boxes as decoration, and I've also got my tools stored on here as well. Let's not forget my standing desk from FlexiSpot and the C7 Air Pro chair, along with my speakers, which are finally on speaker stands, and my Mac Pro as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. This was one of the projects that I really just needed to make for myself as much for the video, so I appreciate you spending time and watching it.